The woman accidentally burned her forehead, and the teapot next to her suddenly spat out $200. She picked up the money and sniffed it to confirm it was real, so she cautiously burned herself again. This time the teapot gave her $700. Now she was certain, as long as she felt pain, the teapot would keep spitting out cash. She got more and more extreme, and the more pain she inflicted, the more money the teapot produced. By the time her husband came home from work, the house was already a mess. Alice gave him a very direct explanation. She poured cash out of the teapot, but John didn't believe what he was seeing. He thought Alice had stuffed the money inside ahead of time.
Empty.
Until the teapot suddenly gushed out bills like a fountain. That's when John finally believed it, but instead of being excited, he was more rational than his wife. Something about the teapot made him uneasy. He decided to return it to the antique shop they got it from, but the store was already closed. Next, he brought the teapot to an antiques appraisal show. The host told him,
"That's very fortunate, because I must tell you, when I saw this vessel come in, my heart skipped a beat. I don't say this often on the show."
They used to worry about not being able to pay rent, but now they had a chance to change their fate. Even though the teapot was creepy, they were still in debt, so they decided to use it. They set a goal for themselves, so they kept hurting themselves, pressing their palms to the stove. The hotter it got, the more money came out, but that wasn't enough. Alice went to the hospital for full body hair removal, and John had teeth pulled with no anesthesia. Alice also got a tattoo at a parlor. With every scream, their wealth increased rapidly. In just one day, they had earned a ton of cash. They paid off all their debts easily. To their parents, they now looked like successful professionals. Everything seemed to be going well, until one day two strangers broke into their home. They beat up John and demanded the teapot. Alice lied and said they had sold it, then gave them some money to make them leave. The next day their former landlord also showed up. He was jealous they had suddenly become rich. In the argument, he snatched the teapot from Alice, then tossed it onto the street, and ran it over with a truck. The couple thought it was all over, but the twisted teapot repaired itself in no time. That eerie sight reminded them of the professor who had once visited. From the professor, they learned the history of the teapot. He advised them to give it up if they wanted to save their own lives, but the couple believed they could control it. They continued using the teapot for wealth, and lived a life of luxury. But new problems quickly appeared. The money started decreasing. Ordinary pain no longer worked, so John went to a bar and let strangers beat him up. The professor showed up again. He looked at the already crazed John and warned him once more, but John was still addicted, until one day, Alice saw a little boy fall on the street, and the teapot spat out cash again. That's when Alice realized there might be a new way to get money.